Hi, and welcome to the Two Steps Back podcast with me, your host, Dave Christie. This podcast is aimed at small, medium-sized business owners looking to thrive, looking to drive their business forward, and looking to grow individually and as a business. So if you're sitting comfortably, let's change that. I talk often around the two steps back methodology. I'm keeping that in. I'm not sure of the words. Methodology. So we understand that what I mean by that is not just taking one step back, because that still leaves you with a lot of knowledge. It's taking that second step back in any given situation to put yourself in the position of the person opposite you so that you can truly start to see things from a different angle. And from that point, you can start to make and build your strategy, deliver your messaging, start to put together your offering that is going to be more beneficial for the person in front of you than it is for you. If we build that offering from a place that we already know, we're liable to make assumptions and we're liable to presume certain people will or will not need or want our services. And we can't do that. We can't start presuming. We also, and most importantly, we need to think about who we're trying to attract. We're not for everybody. You're not everyone's cup of tea. I'm sorry, but you're not everyone's cup of tea. I definitely am not. There are people that do not believe in my two steps back program or my way of thinking, and that's fine. But you have to stand for something, and as soon as you stand for something, people will stand against it. But that's the world. I'm very comfortable with where I am. I have tested, we've driven data. I have worked with numerous clients and seen every single one of my clients grow utilizing the two steps back program. And within that program and within that two steps back is the steps program. Now, I haven't talked about this a lot, but I want to talk to you a little bit today around what that steps program is. Because sometimes I feel like we need to differentiate ourselves. I talk about that quite often. And I know that I haven't necessarily done that. I have done a lot of feedback recently, and people see me as an example as a business coach, someone that can guide them, somebody that can challenge them, as I always talk about, making people more uncomfortable, slightly uncomfortable from being in that position so that they look to grow and drive. But actually, I have several programs. I've got the DC 360 program, which is around how we talk, how we engage ourselves, and how we present ourselves when we're communicating. But I also have the steps program. Now, but I said both of these come from already having taken those two steps back. I'm going to go into a bit more detail of that on another podcast. But from this moment, for a business owner, I want you to imagine a scenario. So I want you to think around 2 years from now. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be a bigger business? Do you want to have more clients? Would you like to stop selling time for money? Would you like more staff, a bigger reach, more offerings, or a more tailored solution? Each one of the things that you're looking for is great, and we could start instantly diving straight into the project that you're looking for. Yes, I want to have 10 more clients next year, and I'm going to do that by. Before you do that, you need to go through a 5-step program. My 5-step program is specifically designed for those small, medium-sized businesses, and it is something that if you work through, you will grow, and you will do it with a clear, concise method. So we have already taken those 2 steps back. We are in that place of our client, of our potential customer. And now what's the first thing we want to speak about? Well, it's the S in steps. It's speak. We want to start with how you pitch your business, whether it's in meetings or a first-time client encounter. We want you to refine your mission and vision to communicate your value clearly and compellingly. Your brand's voice is key in engaging new clients and stakeholders. So how do you do that? How do you think about that? You really need to think about what that message is that is going to be above and beyond what everybody else says. So it may be a introduction in a networking group. It may be a first line of an email. It might be a stand-up conversation, or it could even be a 2 to 3 minute video. But you need to really refine and hone in your mission and your vision. First of all, and I think this is imperative when we speak, we do not say, you should all know who I am or what I do right now. It's a golden opportunity missed, and you need to resonate exactly who you are every single time. Never presume, and you want that name over and over. I want people to remember Dave Christie. I want people to remember Cheshire Business Coaching. And that is that first touch point. It's a really important touch point, and one that all your potential clients need to see. But that's a tick. That's a one touch point. You've said your name and your business. Brilliant. Then it is around your mission and your vision. So do something that they understand. Say something that they know. I'm a business coach that works with small, medium-sized businesses, as an example. Great. The person opposite you knows that, and they understand it. Okay, I know exactly who you are and what you do now. Now you want to think about how you differentiate yourself. So for me, I would then say I adapt the 2 steps back methodology to help businesses take those steps back and truly understand their customer so that they can drive and grow their business. That's the difference. That's the point of difference. That's what separates you from somebody else. Now, the final piece is also about just adding in some credibility. And that process has helped dozens of businesses grow over the last 12 months. In fact, we've helped 40 businesses treble the size of their turnover by using the steps method. Now that's given everybody an understanding of who you are, what you do. It's given you your steps apart, and it's given you some credentials about what it is and how it works. So I'm going to challenge you. Yes, there's 5 steps today, but I want to challenge you just for that first opening. Really refine that. And then it should be everywhere that you are. It should be on your videos. It should be on your social media. It could be on your LinkedIn profiles. It could be in the meetings that you talk about. Start getting really comfortable with saying it. That is the comfort that I want you to have, is actually that you do talk around your product, your service, and you. You're growing your credentials in that marketplace, and you're showing people that you actually understand business, you understand your category. Remember, from that 2 steps back perspective, so you're starting at a different level to where you are right now. Now, the second, the T model, that is tell, and I use what I call the DC 360 method. I'll go into the D60, easy for me to say, the DC 360 approach, which basically means that we will ensure that your message is reaching your target audience effectively. It's a guide to create narratives that will resonate with the people in front of you, the people that you're trying to talk to. We'll utilize that through digital campaigns, community engagement, or personal branding. And that is the tell piece. That is how we're going to create that. Where are the tell areas for that? Where are we going to look to speak to those people? How are we going to talk to them? We're going to guide you through that as well. So that's the tell element of it. Educate. Number 3, educate. And I don't mean education as I'm going to teach you how to do something. What I'm going to educate people on, and I want you to think around as a business, the education piece comes then down to, we're going to educate you on our offerings. I'm going to educate you on what my offerings are. I run a 5-week 2 steps back program. Great. I run a 3-week DC 360 program that enables you to be able to understand who your customer base is, how to talk to them, and how to become a leader in your field. That is the offering. That is the education around it as well. We're going to simplify the services that you offer and deliver them in a structured manner, which makes it crystal clear and easy for your clients to understand. If they don't understand it, then they won't use it. So then we're going to look at the P in STEP. The P is present. How do you present yourself? How do you position yourself as a leader? When you are working with clients, whether they be somebody who has just started up on their own or somebody with a team of 10, 20, 50, 100 people, how people see you is vitally important. How you position yourself as a person of authority within your sector is important. I can work with anybody, but what I'd really like to work with is a multi-award winning, proven track record leader of the field that is leading the way in whatever subject that is, by whatever it might be. We talk a lot about we help businesses do X. You need to think about raising your place in society, in your group sphere, so that when have a look, think about other people that do what you do. There will be them. There'll be other people. There'll be lots of other people that do similar things. Think about who they are. Think about what they offer. And think about, in essence, do you all say the same thing? Or are you saying something a little bit different? Are you differentiating yourself somehow? Who's at the top of the pack, would you say? And why? Because there will be somebody. Now, we might all say, well, there's somebody for everybody, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea, so there's plenty of room for everybody. I disagree. I think you should be a little greedier than that. I want to make sure that everybody that meets me and knows me and understands me knows what I stand for, that I've engaged with, and they see me as a thought leader. They see me as a leader of my field, whether that be a business coach in Cheshire or a business mentor in the UK. I want people to think of that when they think of me. And I will do that by speaking. I will do that by podcasts, by engaging on social media, by reaching out and finding those touch points to be recognized as a leader in my field. And I will use the research and data that I've understood and worked on to set me apart from the others around me. Granted, as I've said right at the beginning, there are people that I'm not their cup of tea. They don't buy into what I'm selling. And that's fine. It means that I understand and I know where my people are, where my potential clients are. I don't need to please everybody and not actually get anywhere. We spend too long being nice. We spend too long just being acceptable to people. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to upset the apple cart. We'll talk. We won't engage and say anything controversial or stand for anything because that might lose us credibility. But actually it doesn't. It gains you credibility, and it just shows the people that wouldn't have made the right client in the first place if they don't buy into what you're selling and what your values are. If you think about a marketeer as an example, marketing is a very difficult way to work with small, medium-sized businesses. So what makes you stand apart from somebody else? How can you talk around the wins that you've had, build that credibility about some of the awards that you might have won, or some of the local businesses that you've grown and how you've grown them? And what is it that you do that's different to everybody else? Does everybody else say, we will work with you to do X, Y, Z, and you're going to talk to them about something completely different? Think about how you're going to come at it from another angle. And then the final one, and part of the 5 steps, is the symbiosis. Now, symbiosis is an interesting word, full stop, but fundamentally it's around collaborating with other leaders in the industry. So think about the people that are around you. Think about the partnerships that you can create. Do you need a degree if you partner with somebody that already has one? Do you need to fully understand a certain subject matter? If somebody else is an expert in their field and you collaborate together, then they can add that. You can tap into their market, you can tap into their followers, you can tap into their customers. And now we start to build our way up the pyramid of business, the pyramid of leaders, to become more established because we're working with somebody that's established in their field as well. Now, there is a complacency part here that we just think about working with our friend from down the road, the person that we always see at the networking event. But you need to be more strategic than that. Who you align yourself up with in business is really important. Do you need to align yourself with somebody because they've got a big network that you need to tap into because you want to speak and drive your credibility? Brilliant. Do you have an angle that you want to talk about, and this person is a leader in their field with lots of followers and lots of people that listen to and engage with them, and you're trying to increase that, so you will work alongside them on a project to tap into that. Go onto a podcast, do some little short videos together, do a YouTube page, or a podcast. You can do a podcast on many different platforms. Thinking about how that you can do that. Maybe you can enhance your presence by being with certain people. If you look at from a podcast world, everybody's clambering to get onto Stephen Bartlett's podcast, and there are people on there then that you haven't heard of that suddenly are thrusted into the limelight. Well, we're not quite at Stephen Bartlett's level yet, but actually the same principles apply. Look at the people around you. Who do you want on your podcast? Who do you want on your website doing collaborations with, talking to people around, doing a webinar with? How can you do that? And that, in essence, is those 5 steps. If you follow those 5 steps, and there is obviously more detail that goes into each one of them to understand which are the right parts of that for you, and then how we build that out with that accountability and consistency. The DC 360 program goes alongside that as well, but everything starts from that 2 steps back. Everything starts from that position of not where you are today, but actually where your client is today, outside of your industry, outside of that knowledge. And then we have a look at these 5 sections from there. So everything starts from that 2 steps back. And once you're at that 2 steps back, and okay, you can take some bits from here and you can take those 5 steps and think about how you can implement some of them. Of course, we have plenty of enrollments available for the 2 steps back program. We have clients engaging with that regularly and enrolling onto the 2 steps back program, and we have other areas that are coming up. We offer those free assets on CheshireBusinessCoaching.com, the accountability calendar, webinars that we have coming up, as well as other resource for you. But as we talked about there at the beginning, I want your challenge to be, how are you going to refine your pitch? How do you refine your mission and your vision and communicate your value clearly and compellingly to ensure that your clients and stakeholders and new people around you know who you are and what you do? As always, if you would like to know more information on the 2 steps back or anything else around coaching in general, you can reach out to me in the normal methods, Dave at CheshireBusinessCoaching.com. You can find me on Instagram and LinkedIn, Facebook at Cheshire Business Coaching. Thank you for listening. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you can take some of these steps and start implementing into your business, and maybe even think around which one you're strongest at and which one is the one that you need more work on. Because you'll have pluses and minuses all around. Which one is the one that you feel like you're missing on? That's the one we can start working on as well. So as always, I'll see you on the other side. Thanks very much for listening to the 2 Steps Back podcast. I've been Dave Christie. As always, it means so much to the channel if you would take a moment to subscribe, like, and share the content that you've seen here and listened to here today. We're trying to support as many businesses around the country as we possibly can. So the more that you can help us do that, the more we can get the message out and help other businesses raise each other up. Because if that's not what it's all about, then I don't know what it is. Thank you.